they've got it on their calendars to do it. I think we're setting a terrible precedent. I think we're changing a board meeting, our work here, due to an inconvenience. I understand how important it is, and I think you should go. I think you should have a speech, and I think you've done a great job here. But we're changing a board meeting because it's inconvenient for some board members to make our regular meeting, a publicized meeting, our annual meeting, our budget public hearing. If we're going to have a quorum here, if we have enough for a quorum that's still going to be here, we can do the business. Nobody's indispensable. If we're going to have 51%, we should hold the meeting. That's what we told the public we're going to do. I just think that we're considering doing this to me, I'm not involved, I don't get any money out of this whole deal, as a ribbon cutting photo op. But if you want to go, go. Fine. I have no problem with you going. But if we're going to have 51% of the votes still here, then we should hold the meeting like we said we're going to hold. And to be honest with you, if we change it, we've set quite a pretty low bar to change meetings in the future. And I want to ask, I don't know if it's been here the longest, probably Debbie. Debbie, have we ever changed the third Friday of the month meeting that you can recall, for what reason?
I think there was one change maybe once with a snowstorm.
Okay, I could see that being valid because that wasn't done 3 weeks ahead.
Right.
It's 3 weeks from now. Have the event at 1 o'clock so you can come to our meeting, do our work for the county employees and county people, and then go to your thing at 1 o'clock. Tell them to change it up there. I don't know. I think we're taking an easy way out. We should do it the right way. It's the annual meeting and the budget public hearing. Philosophically, it really just rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not going to take it personally. If I lose, I lose. You guys can go and we'll change the meeting, but it's really not the right way to do it.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. Let's go with Cassie. So we'll go to Dan.
As you said, it's 3 weeks' notice. That's more than enough time for the public to know. It's not like we did it 6 hours ahead of time. I think this is beneficial for the amount of money that's being brought into the county and the amount of work that's been done. I don't see it as a photo op. I think it's in support of something that's come into the county, and I have no problem with this change at all. The public has more than enough time to change, and I don't think any supervisor that chooses to attend, which I am not, should be penalized or found fault with. And if I was a constituent, the other side of the coin is I think it shows benefit that the supervisors are trying to do both things at once and changing the date so that they can still participate in the budget meeting and the annual meeting. And in my opinion, it's a good idea. But again, I won't take it personal if it's voted wrong. It's 3 weeks. It's more than enough time for people to know and make adjustments.
Supervisor Shaw.
Well, I just wanted to comment in lieu of Matt's points he just made. Would there be a quorum here? I don't know, the hands went up kind of fast and I didn't count things, so I have no idea. Should that be clarified? Because if there is no quorum, then you have to.
Yep, that was my next thing to do after I talked to Dave here.
So I counted votes if people want to be there, 2,318 votes.
You can't count squat until somebody raises their hand right here, right now in a public meeting. Right now. Who's going to be here? If it's not 51%, your point is absolutely spot on.
So, and if we have enough, then your response is the same thing. So we can raise our hands again if Deb can get us.
No, who's going to be here, not who's not going to be here.
Yeah.
Let me.
All right, either way.
Two sides of this coin.
Who's going to be there?
If you don't have if you still have a slight majority, something happens, one doesn't, we lose our public notice, we can't have our public hearing, we can't have our annual meeting started in a meeting. I mean, if you can count the votes, but if you do, 1 or 2 people not here that day for whatever reason, penalized is accounted by another 2 or 3 weeks.
I plan on being here at the last meeting right up to the last minute, so. Perfect point right there.
So by the way, we didn't set the date, this is the governor's office set the date, we had no choice. It was set by the governor's office, there are federal officials also attending, plus people from Quebec who were attending.
Okay, so to make sure there's no confusion on this is when we do this, can we do a count as, raise your hand if you will be here on the 18th? Will be.
We'll be here. Okay.
Sadler. Ferguson's going to be here.
Mr. Haas said he'd be here, but I really He's not here. I'm not here, you're right, you're right, you're right,
No,
you're right,
I'd rather know
you're
who's
right.
not gonna be here.
All right, that's, well, that's what I thought, but
Not.
not gonna be here.
Not,
Yep, he's
Not gonna be here.
not gonna be here.
not gonna be here. Not gonna be here.
Who's going to the next?
Yes.
Sounds like a bunch of crows.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Well,
Not clear.
yeah, no, it's simple, it says it would pass. I've got Ferguson a no, Hall a no, Fisher a no, Bryan a no, Campbell a no, Hogan a no, Wilson a no, and Roselle a no. So this says, yeah, yep. This says it would pass. Now, you don't have 2/3. So if you needed 2/3 to get anything on the floor, you don't have 2/3. You do not have 2/3.
Well, maybe that's good then. because
I'd also
they
like
can
to
pull-
point out that it's, the whole point of the budget is it's the budget meeting and our budget officer wouldn't be there, so
Right.
I don't think that is a good time to have a meeting if the budget officer isn't there at the time we're passing the budget.
One of the points, you know, while there are towns that are not part of the group going through, and not gonna benefit directly from it, there's $55 million coming to the county, it's gonna benefit every single resident in Washington County proportionally to your population each year.
Thank you.
Will the $55 million show up if you guys show up or not show up, either way?
Good point, man.
It is a moot point. It's exactly the point, it's a moot point. You're gonna get it either way.
People have indicated they weren't getting a share, they are gonna benefit from this. The whole county's gonna benefit.
All right, let's, is there any more discussion?
There is a simple majority by 54 votes.
Two, that will be here or won't be here?
It will be here.
Well, you know, the resolution was passed with those people as no's, only by 54 votes.
But you have two supervisors who are absent.
Oh, I'm not counting them. Well,
Might not be here.
I'm not counting them in. They're in as, Nolan's here, and who's my other one? Half. I've got them as being present.
But if Supervisor Nolan doesn't show up, you won't have it.
Right.
All of the small votes. If any single one other supervisor doesn't show, that's more than 54 votes.
Right.
and they would know.
to be unanimous to pass.
Right.
Right,
So that changes everything.
right.
Well, I think we have enough information to vote now here.
I have one more comment, one more question. If I read the rules of the board, no standing rule or order of the board to be rescinded, suspended, or changed, or any additional rule or added unless it's by 2/3. Don't they need 2/3 to change these meetings?
No, because that was one of the things that popped into my mind when we first got the meeting. The only mention of the annual meeting in the board rules is that it has to occur at 10 o'clock. You could have the annual meeting in January if you wanted, you could have it in December if you wanted. Just traditionally has always been the third meeting in November, which was what I was looking at when this resolution was first being proposed, to make sure there wasn't going to have to be anything like that. But since the current resolution indicates that the annual meeting will start at 10 o'clock, it's only a majority vote.
Okay. And the last comment I have is, I was not real happy back in April when we had our meeting on Good Friday. Warren County suspended theirs because it was Good Friday. If this is the bar that's being set for a photo op ribbon cutting, the next time it comes up on a Good Friday or something like that, you will get a motion from me to change that meeting, and I hope I get support in that regard. Because I think the bar is set way too low now. I'm done.
My town changes the date for Columbus Day weekend. So everybody's traveling with. You're in October.
So we're, so we,
So many people are gone.
They're ready to vote, I guess. There's no further discussion.
let's do a roll call, please.
Mr. Hanky?
Yes.
Ms. Fedler?
Yes.
Ms. Mr. Ferguson?
This is to change date.
Yes, to the 21st. Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Hicks?
No.
Mr. Nolan is absent. Mr. O'Brien? Or yes.
Yes.
Mr. Half is absent. Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Skelly?
Yes.
Mr. Hogan?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mrs. Clary? Yes. Mr. Griffith?
Yes.
Mr. Rozell?
Yes.
3,602 yes, 506 no, and 583 absent. Passed. Resolution number 240 by Supervisor Hall, title rescind resolution number 238 of 2022, and set time and date for a public hearing on the 2023 tentative budget.
I will move resolution number 240. Do we have a second? Supervisor Hanky, Supervisor Cutler, Supervisor Fisher, Supervisor Ferguson, Supervisor O'Brien. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, saying aye? Aye. Opposed?
Thanks.
Carried. Okay. Is there any further supervisor comments anyone would like to make? I would just like to say on resolution number 239, Paul, that was a good question, because I think it was, I need to for all of us to make sure we were voting on the right one. Thank you. Okay, if there's no further supervisors' comments, we stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.